Video tutorial number 3, in which we're going to construct the left side sectional view. Okay, so sectional left side view of this rod guide. So that will obviously come, because it's third angle orthogonal projection, we're going to construct it out to the left of the sectional front view. So let's go across to, again, the model and have a look at the framework we need to use in order to start developing this. So if we look at it from the left, which will be from this side here where my cursor is moving, direction in which we will view, we know that we're going to have a total height of 50, all right, which we are then going to project across from the front view, and we have a total depth of 64. So we have 50 by 64. So what I'm going to do now is go back to CAD. I'm going to put my constructions back on. Right? So let me just delete that. And we're going to take this construction line and we are going to offset it first. By the way, we're taking a construction line of 50 in height. We're borrowing this height from the front view. We're going to take it across 20. Remember, margin, axis margin 10, 10. That gives us a starting point for the left side sectional view, or sectional left side view. Right, then we know we've got a total depth of 64. So I'm going to draw a line across to a total of 64. Right, I'm going to come down a total of, oh, I don't have to type in the total. If you want to, you can type in a total of 50, but I'm going to use my snaps to automatically find that positioning for me. Right, let me just move my axis out the way here. Let's get in the way of it. Okay, now that we've got the framework, we can start to construct the left side view. Now, if we go to the front view and you have a look at this, the center marking, the linear, the vertical marking here, that is a perfect indication of the section that we are going to be, the cutting plane. So, if we look at this from the left side view, that, as we go down the cutting plane, we know that that surface is going to be cut there. Then whatever mechanism or machine is used to cut the surface will then not be in contact with any material until it comes back to that point there through that surface of the material there. So really what we're going to see, if we look from the left view this way, surface, a hole, and then a cut surface. And in the orthographic, we're going to have basically a rectangle, a bigger rectangle, and so very simply, all we need to do is project these across. So we're going to take the construction and we're going to project that point across. So we're going to project it across. You can see I can infer an extension because I've got that snap on, so in other words I can hold that and I can come across, and when that green line says dotted, right, it extends into the right place. So I'm just going to trim that little excess off there. Now you'll see we have one cut surface, the hole in the middle, and then the cut surface at the bottom. All right, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my outlines and I'm going to go I'm going to go over this construction with outlines, because this is perfect in terms of click, repeat line, in terms of the finished outline, the outline that we would see of the cut left sectional view. So then I'm going to obviously go add my hatching in, but before I do that, I must make sure I've got my hatch layer property. I'm going to click on hatch, stop, click on the bottom, and I'm going to up the scale to at least 30 like I've done previously. And there we have it. It's at a 45-degree angle, so I don't need to move it, don't need to change it. And there we have it. So we have the sectional left side view complete, done. Now, we need to add remember we have a hole, whether it's half a hole, we need to then add in an annotation of a center line. So we're going to go annotate center line. We're going to be using the long ways method. So I'm going to click on that command there and there, and it automatically generates once again the center line. I'm going to right click and go properties, and I'm going to stay consistent. So click right click, properties, and stay consistent with what we've done to the rest. I'm going to go an extension of 2 and 2, and I think we've used a 15 scale. There we go. Scale is good. I've got a good extension beyond the object of 2 mils consistently each side. That is the view completely drawn. Now what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to go construction lines. Okay? Hold, turn them off. Good. Now we're not finished with our the drawing itself because we need to add labels in and so the first cutting plane over here is going to be AA is long ways across. Okay, so where are we here? Sorry, I'm just having a look. We'll use top view. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. AA would be across the middle here. So I'm going to go get a center, annotate a center marking again. Right? Sorry, I don't want to use it. I want to go grab that center and I want to go on the outside and outside over there. We should get our centers. I'm not sure why it's not giving us our centers. Let's try that again. Try one more time. Center. It's not giving us our centers. Let me quickly troubleshoot. Okay, so that was a slightly clumsy area for myself. I had it sitting on construction lines, and construction lines were hidden, so every time I annotated a center line long ways, it wouldn't show me anything. So make sure that your centers have been selected, not like me. All right, and then now we go click and it should present itself nicely. Okay, I want to do the same thing, by the way. Properties, extend to beyond the start and the end, and then I want to have a line type scale. I think we did 20 earlier. Let's just press enter. There we go. Perfect. Right, so now we're going to go annotate those two cutting planes, right, top view. And so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to go back to home. I want my line command and I want outlines. So I'm going to do an outline of 4 mils beyond and extend it beyond each center line. So in 4 mils. So there. Line command. Oopsie. Line. I'm choosing 4 mils not for any particular reason, just think it's enough for us to annotate what we need to by means of cutting planes. Alright, so we've cut down the middle sideways, we've cut down the middle long ways, alright, and we need to add. So AA is going to be along ways, BB along the short axis. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the leader. Here's your leader command at the top over here. But the first thing we want to do is go to annotation. So we're going to click on the annotation drop down over here. We're going to click on the leader style, and then we're going to go to modify. Now I might have already done this. So the first thing I want you to do is make sure that your text height is sitting at 2 mils. That's your content. Your leader structure and leader format are as follows. So the symbol, the line size, or symbol size is 2. Your leader structure as is there, and then the content, as I said, the text height is 2. But then what I want you to do is not have a horizontal attachment. I want you to have a vertical attachment. Perfect. And then says say OK, and then close. Now when I select my leader command, I'm going to go to the midpoint here, right? I'm going to come across, type in any dimensions in here, and I'm going to type in B, capital. That gives us the arrow indicating where B is. And what I'll do here is I'll just copy this, CO, enter, copy, and or click and then say Control C, and I'm going to click on that point there, and here. So now the lengths are both the same, positioning is perfect. So we have B, and then here, leader, we're going to go A. So I'm going to go to the midpoint and drop down, type in capital A, right? And I'm going to then copy that, so just a reasonable distance away, and I'm going to bring that across to the center point here. There we have it. Now what you can do, for example, the gap between the letter and the arrow is a bit short, so you can go back if you want to, leader, and if you go to modify, I think it's the landing gap, let's just make sure. So the content here, we could probably up this to 2 mils, enter, there we go, okay. So as we close this, it should automatically adjust the gap to too far away there. So 2 is maybe a bit too big, so I'll go back to annotation, I'm going to go back here, I'm going to go modify, and let's just make this 1. There we go. Close. There we go. So we've got we've indicated our cutting planes in the top view. Right. Again, you can go change the size of the writing should you feel that that is too short. The next thing we need to do is just quickly label. So what I'm going to do here is go to text. I'm going to open the text box underneath this one. I'm going to type in here sectional front view on A-A, which is what it is. But you can see how small it is. So I'm going to right click properties, it will come up. And I want to go text height. I want I'm going to go for a 2.5. 3 is a bit big. So 2.5 seems to be a nice size. And most of the time when you work within this kind of size. So let's move that over to try and center it. Zoom in if it doesn't move over. And then I'm just going to control copy that. I'm going to bring that across, make sure my snap is on. In actual fact, I'd rather go CO, enter, copy, click on it, press enter, go grab that, and now it will stay parallel with one another on the same line as well. So now this one will be a sectional left view on BB. Quite centered, so I'm going to just move it across slightly. There we go. So that's more or less centered. I'm happy with that. We've got our left view in, sectioned, our cutting planes in, as well as our labels. So that's the end of video tutorial number 3. The next one, we're going to go create a layout so that we can print it as a PDF.